DPC, and it is going to be a great match. I can't help but just stare at the Pugna and think of how good Netherward is this game. It's good against Bristle Quills, that's spell damage, I believe. It is good against Leshrac. Dragonite, sure. He's got a lot of burning damage. Techie's tons of spell damage. Death Prophet, all spell damage. All 5 of these bastards, with the exception of right click from Bristle, it reduces their damage. So if they can just put the Nether Ward down, it's going to be nice. And they got Underlord to reduce the physical damage being dealt too. Not very good against Bristle, I guess, because he's got mostly green damage, but still, it's an interesting draft.
And by green damage, you mean not base damage that gets reduced, but Warpath gives you bonus damage that will not be reduced by Attribute.
That is right. But a pipe and a Pugna Nether Ward would be very cool if they do get it eventually. I doubt we'll see Mu rush it. I think it's more likely that he will go more utility build, like when we saw it earlier today was like Vanguard, Soul Ring, Atos, for example.
Fight over the bounty route. Ooh, the cut managed to sneak away an extra bounty, so as long as they live here, which is super tanky, so no problem there, they will have the early net worth lead. Perhaps if Game 2 goes the way Game 1 did, this might be their only time of having a net worth lead, because that Game 1 was pretty one-sided. Do you feel like, draft-wise, this game is uneven at all? I mean, you really like Pugna, but what else?
Yeah, I really like the Pugna. I think Wraith King is mostly going to be fine here in terms of what he impacts. That's a lot of physical damage, which is going to make it hard for Death Prophet and Leshrac to survive in early mid-game, like the mid-game points of the game. So if you get like Wraith King on the guy with Pango, I feel like that's quite strong. And in terms of laning, he'll be fine. It's not like DK is going to pressure him that much. Maybe Techies we'll see there, but I think Husky will be able to offset this. So I do like the Zoomers lineup on top of that as a whole. But there are great disables from the cut side. Dragonite plus Leshrac plus Techies. It's going to be pretty scary in the mid-game too. So
it does seem like we're just going to be seeing some crazy clashes going into starting about 15 minutes, and I guess until the end of the game, where we just got a bunch of kind of team fight run at you spells on both sides of the table.
Yep.
So
definitely the case here. Husky getting some decent harassing. For now, just beating him up a bunch. Got his heal ready to go if he needs it. And B-God's getting a little offset. Curiously, B-God, very good Techies player, no cosmetics. What's up with that? Maybe a fresh Techies player, new to the hero, since it got changed.
Yeah, he is. He's copper tier. He doesn't even have any voice lines yet.
He might not have Dota Plus though. Could be why.
Yeah, but the combination of not having cosmetics as well, that kind of, you know,
true.
Putting the pieces together. So maybe he's one of the few honest Techies players. Because I feel like most non-Techies players have still kind of shied away from it since the rework, but it seems like B-God fully invested in the new Techies. We'll see whether or not he's able to have an impact in that DK lane, and as it stands, that's the thing is I'm not in love with the DK as a pairing, just because Techies offers so much damage, but just not quite enough to get a kill by himself most of the time. But if we had a little bit extra nuking damage than what DK can provide, I'd be pretty down to just kill the Wraith King or the Enchantress over and over again.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to offset it either way. Either Husky pulls regen to Costabile, or Husky takes the pressure and offsets it with Nature's Attendant. So, yeah, that part is a bit rough, especially because B-God does typically excel by getting some kills here and there. But in this case, you know, Ade is going to be doing fine though. Like they're going even on last hits. That's the upside. So it's not going terrible. Gunner's avoided a couple deaths in the mid lane so far. But he's still last hitting well against Leshrac. So he's doing great considering the melee versus range matchup.
All right, B-God does what I do. He uses the bomb, and he throws it on the carry whenever the range creep is going to die. And he throws it on the carry, so the carry, by being close to the range, if he tries to go for the deny, he might miss it because the bomb explodes and takes the last hit. And if he runs away, trying not to give the Techies the last hit, then obviously you can just kind of right-click it down.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, there's lots of cool things you can do with that delayed ability. it definitely gets in your allies' minds a little bit. It's kind of like Thunderstrike, but a little bit higher damage. Plus the slow is quite nice.
They have enough here. It's going to be a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough, sadly. And B-God is going to be in little trouble. And maybe Ade is going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh my God. Ice Frog. Ice Frog.
Which
Come back
skeletons are
from
which?
your vacation and fix this. What is going on with these goddamn skeletons, man?
Creeps. Yeah, that was the level 2 enchant. That's really the big difference maker for Enchantress supports. Once they get 3, your enchant lasts twice as long, so you have more time to take the creep, walk it to the lane, and actually fight a bit more. In which, in this example, tons of skeletons, lots of pressure.
Look at him he's just chopping away at the tower. Yeah. No problem. Just suicide skeletons in. What are you gonna give away? A handful of gold? No big problem. Off lane tower at half health because of the Enchantress.
God. That's incredible. And you got first blood. Goes raindrop and everything. You got putting some pressure in on Husky, but not much lost here. He'll lose a little mana when he regens maybe, but that's it.
How's that mid lane matchup going? Pango versus Leshrac looks like it's pretty much neck and neck, which if I know the Pango Swashbuckle got buffed up a little bit, and Leshrac doesn't have the best armor, but I would have expected Lesh to win that matchup a little bit more, perhaps.
Yeah, there was a couple times that I was looking when the camera was somewhere else. Overall, I'm looking dead here. Ooh, pretty close. Oh, he's going for the kill finally. Good
yeah,
rotation.
They're going to roll back on him. That's good angle. Kit's no way out of this one, so Husky goes from being able to get the kill top, rotates with the next creep into the mid lane. This is kind of what you want to see from your Enchantress.
Yep, that was the same centaur he grabbed when he was fighting against the techies. But yeah, Gunnar dodged a couple stuns here or there where he was kind of low HP. Kept Lesh low, he was low, but avoided the death. And now hits 6 at a good timing, and with the rotation now gets a great kill. So 2 kills on Husky, and now pressuring the mid tower as well. So good start for them. Rune is going to be a haste rune for B-God at least. Maybe Husky dies here though. A little fast though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kits has got a lane to deal with, especially with Siege Wagon hitting the tower like that. So they back up, deal with that. They can at least move the Death Prophet around because Scourge McDuck is going to be going for that Vanguard build once again. So he almost has it.
But Underlord's kind of owning, actually. 41-9 on Moo versus the Bristleback's 28. He went 102 skill build, getting a 15% damage reduction by level 3, and then you get more damage from your creep kills. He's actually got 3 points now in Attributor. He's just gonna outfarm him. I've done this before against Tiny. I was wondering if people would see this as a counter or a solution against some of these carries, but this is one straightforward way for offlaners to just beat carries. Just get way more damage.
Costa keeps on getting so low, but they can't quite finish him off, and now it looks like at this point he should be able to get his level 6, no problem. As Husky once again comes into lane, helps get the kill, and chase away the Dragonite enough for Costabile to get some free farm. So there you go, level 6. So now Techie's not going to be able to have the same effect. In fact, Ade, he managed to wrap that Centaur around from behind, catches him with the stun, and a second kill by Husky. He is dominating in every sense of the word at this point in time, and he's set up. Perhaps Kits does manage to juke it once, but the second it lands, Gunnar has to jump away, though. He could have jumped in and shield crashed, but maybe he was afraid it wouldn't be enough damage.
Yeah, anybody rotates there, he gets punished, I feel like. So does the safe thing. His opponent's going to have to go back to heal, and he can sit around and get that extra rune, so. And he's got Arcane, so it's not like he's really hurt that much, as long as he doesn't lose HP. They get the tower, though. Not a good sign when your enemy safe lane kills their off-lane tower first.
Yeah, I always quote that stat. That's one of those towers that if it dies first, the win rate just shoots straight up. Because it's just really abnormal, right? You must win your safe lane really, really hard for you to take the off-lane tower first. That's how I translate that.
And he just rushed Armlet right away. Doesn't even have boots yet. He's so far ahead. Looking very good for Costabile. And across the lane, they've won at least 2 of the other. They've won the second lane as well. Underlord is currently at 57-11 versus Bristleback's 49-0. Bristol is jungling a lot. Doesn't yet have Soul Ring though, so he's been doing some small camps and things like that. If we look at net worth, yeah, you can see it a little reflected there. He's not super far behind, but usually as Bristol carry, you kind of just get the Vanguard and you're unkillable. You can't get pressured really in the lane. but he's been struggling a bit here. When you get this damage advantage against Underlord, and by the way, he maxed it. He's got 4 points in it. Just how do you compete in terms of last hit? Underlord's hitting for 170 damage right now.
Oh, Beacon jumps away. That last hit from the Enchantress will not be enough, thanks in part to a wand. Overlom actually comes into this one because they have kits around, but there is also Z-Freak and Moo who's going to be joining in thanks to the Dark Rift. So 4 Zoomers just quickly outnumber the enemy in the mid area, get that kill, and should be able to get the mid tower as a result.
Looks like Moo's going to stay. Help guarantee the tower. How long does the ultimate last these days? It's gone.
15 seconds, I believe?
20, yeah.
20, that's right.
It's a little window, so he rotates. It's the nice thing about it, actually, is that normally when you play this hero, you are pretty stable in your lane. You usually go to rotate to a different lane to defend it from tower push. But now it's very easy to show up to fights, even though your impact's not necessarily as high as another offlaner. The fact that you can get there really easily and go back to your lane is valuable. In this case, just was more important for him to be there than it was to get back to lane at a good time. So he will return back to his safe lane now that they've killed both the offlane and the mid tower. This is taking away a lot of the Radiant tower advantage as well. Keep that in mind. Now when the Dire team contests Roche, the TP points for the cut is going to be much farther away. Another haste ring.
Beacon just keeps on stealing those power runes away from Gunnar.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures
Trying to even out the side lane towers. Kits, meanwhile, is going to try and backdoor mid. Cutter here in force, and there is no Dark Rift, so they're going to have to just TP into this fight the old-fashioned way. And I assume 4 Zoomers is willing to take this fight. I mean, they've got great heroes to defend tower pushes.
They really do. Yeah, they're not even taking Moo for it just yet. He's only got 2 points in Firestorm. Picked up a Pit of Malice now. He's just focused on right-clicking creep waves, basically, with his treads and his big damage bonus. And it's working out. He's sitting for, like, he's got a free double damage from his aura here. Kit's going to walk into him, though. He does not want to fight. He definitely does not want to fight that.
No, not when he has an extra 128 damage, basically operating on a DD rune.
I mean, it's kind of a cool way to play the build. I mean, normal build is like phase boots, soul ring type stuff with a Vanguard or a Hood. You get regen, you spam Firestorm. He's just like, oh, I'm just a right-clicker. I buy treads. I rush the Atos, now I don't need all this mana regen because I'm just farming with my skills.
And with that 1 level of Pit of Malice, they're going to trap Kits here for a second. The Centaur's going to die out before he gets the stun, and it's the Underlord who dies thanks to the rotation from Ade. So a critical rotation there. Gunnar does manage to get a roll in, doesn't quite finish off Overlom. He's going to go back for that kill, runs him over as he retreats. Leaves him in that rear view window.
All right. Yeah, they tried to go for the disable setup there, but it was going to be hard to catch Leshrac with that Centaur approach.
Do a lot of damage to a Pugna, but the Crepify is going to be a continual problem for this Bristleback, whether as a save or using it offensively against the Bristleback.
Won't make a difference, certainly. He's got 3 points in Other Ward now, too, so set up very nicely. Mess with his opponents. Z-Freak just offsetting Scourge.
Oh, the invis, but unfortunately, okay, maybe. Thanks to that long silence, Gunnar is not going to be able to fish for that last swashbuckle. Has no idea where the Leshrac went. They do manage to get Beacon instead.
Pressure continues. He's got Pit of Malice.
He does.
And Atos.
Overlom's likely to be run down here. I mean, Spirit Siphon does a lot, but for Zoomers, they just have too many heroes here.
Yeah, I really like how Moo's playing this game so far. Just a little bit off standard, but makes meta sense. And just 1 point of Pit of Malice with the Atos is tons of root. So it's working out.
It all feels very natural, but I guess I mean, that's what happens when you win all 3 lanes, right? It's like there are no threats on the board, so 4 Zoomers know they're stronger and are just asserting that strength all over the map. Hood of Defiance after the Vanguard, so we're going to be seeing a slower Ags than last time.
He does need it against Pango, though. It would have been that plus the burning from Firestorm would have been way too much damage. Percentage-based damage that he's basically running into every time. Yeah, he would have just shredded. So
you didn't seem to have a whole lot of faith in Bristleback as a hero. Is this game any better for him?
He hasn't made a mistake yet, but the laning stage went weaker than normal, so his net worth is moderately behind where Wraith King's is at the moment. so that could hurt them. But yeah, once I assume that there will be some like team fight mistake that ends up happening. But if he plays extremely well, then it can be really solid.
You're gonna try and stop this little backdoor
Double.
play. Both of the you know what? I'm actually happy that happened. This whole backdooring tier 1 tower with Exorcism and Diabolic Edict, Gunnar shows one way to be able to stop that. Now it's with the Rolling Thunder blink in. Now they're going to be able to catch a Bristleback as well. Nice body blocking there from Gunnar, not letting him go. The stun comes in, and they almost kill Gunnar in return, but he's getting away. Oh no, Ade's going to die right next to Scourge McDuck.
Oof. That's why they were together like that, man. And this is what's cool about Gunnar's build. He just went for blink. He said, defusibly, don't need that shit. I just need to be able to ulti effectively, get on top of these guys. They see the damage coming out, and the other ward made it a little bit clear. They see the damage, and he's like, I'm in. And he found 2 heroes. That must have been so nice when he jumped in like that. What a fight. Instantly cleared. They eat up the Diabolic Edict.
Moves like, well, all right then.
That fight's over.
This game's going very well for them. 12-1, 7,000 net worth lead.
Bonus 276 damage on Underlord right now. Just normal stuff. Might as well hit buildings. We've seen this before today. The killing creep waves far away from where the enemies are. A sign of things not going so well.
Yeah.
Tower is under attack.
That's the thing, is when you're put into this situation already, it's not like they've got some big hard carry, you know? They've got Bristleback, Leshrac, DK. Like, these are heroes that should want to fight at 15 minutes. Maybe Bristleback carry wants to wait for his axe or something like that, but they're not supposed to be weak right now. But they just lost that first 5 to 10 minutes so badly that they have no option. They just have to dodge team fights. That's their only play. Look at Gunnar. I think he's actually protecting his mid-tier 1 tower and might actually go... No. Maybe he'll come back. 4 Zoomers, they're just going to keep it going. They have the skeleton push. Why not? The double skeletons.
Gunnar defending top. He rolls on him.
Rolls in, managed to catch him. Kit just going to be chain stunned to death here. And, hey, they still got the tier 3 tower because double skeletons. Dark Troll Summoner and the Wraith King combined together. If you don't have something there to clear through it, the tower is going to die very quickly.
Yeah, this is just one of those things where if you are playing a Leshrac and you get a little bit behind in terms of net worth, you're just going to start matching up really poorly against Pugna. Because as soon as against Pangolier, because once he starts rolling, you have no solution other than trying to stay alive and your allies backing you up. So Gunnar just anticipates the movement. He TPs in, gets the rolling boulder, and then they just show up with this Wraith King who's way far ahead. Did better in his lane than the enemy carry. He picks up his first 2 Deso charges. And looking real solid for the Zoomers.
Do have the silence follow-up off of that Dragon Tail, but they don't really have any other damage. The Leshrac and the Techies, neither one was there. And now with the Dark Rift coming in, they're going to make sure to collect all of these cut heroes that were out of position. Carry dies again. That's kind of like the big hope for the cut, was that maybe they could turn around with the Bristleback timing. He's dead for 30 seconds, so 4 Zoomers just go straight for the high ground.
Just feels like their timing is like too far ahead because of where their net worth is. Underlord is just ready to go. We got Atos super fast. He's in all these fights. Just shows up. Kostubile. He's got Deso finished. He's about a third of the way to BKB, and now they're just getting kills.
Yeah, somebody on 4 Zoomers got a date or something tonight? Like, there's just... All right, guys, let's go ahead and end this series as quick as possible. They are not content with just one lane of barracks. Pressure bottom lane a little bit before they clean up the rest of their lanes.
Nicely done, because that would be the lane that's going to be farthest away once they reset the rest of the map. Here's the initiation there on Gunnar. Great silence follow-up. They start doing some goo stuff, looking for an engagement. Scourge is a little bit unsure about fully committing, understandably. He doesn't have Ags yet, so he doesn't necessarily feel super happy jumping in. But then Scourge McDuck gets caught on the way out with Moo teleporting in.
I think making that play without Techies or Leshrac is there's no damage. Those are your 2 damage dealers, and neither one of them was there to follow up the Dragon Tails.
I think it's one of those things where it's so hard to catch your opponents when they're outplaying you, and when they are, maybe if they have better game sense, for example. And then when you do finally see an opportunity, you're like, okay, we gotta go. And some of those moments, you don't have the time to look at the map and be like, oh shit, Techies isn't here, therefore it's just like, oh my god, we finally found an opportunity, let's make it work. On the bright side, they do have Bloodstone finish on Leshrac. This is a big moment here for him. It's going to massively help him stay alive if he can be on top of enemy heroes dealing damage. But again, the counter to Bloodstone is reducing the damage that you deal, which means he gets less heal. So even just having Pugna Ward down is going to lower his lifesteal by 25% alone. So
yeah,
kind
that's
of like
a good point.
It's kind of like a Scotty or a Shiva's at this point too.
Shield Crash slowing down 2 of the cut members. Gunner making this haste go to good work here.
Radiant's top
He's
tower
going to chase down Overlom eventually. And blinks the other side of River. Looks like they know where some of these other heroes are. They have this nice defensive high ground ward. They spot the techies. He goes, blasts off up to the high ground, TP's out. Moo does get him with the Rod of Atos before he can get away.
tower is under
That was cool how they went, how Gunner went for a secondary line. Ade does cut the mid creep wave at least, so that'll stop that push a little. But that Rax is all done, so I don't know if that one matters too much. But yeah, 13k gold advantage for the Zoomers, 17-1. I mean, if you started the season and you were like, hey, look, 4 Zoomers is up 13k against the cut in their second game, I'd have been like, oh, that makes sense. But this is a surprising beatdown. It's like Zoomers is playing really solid today. Their drafts have gotten better. And the cut is underperforming compared to where they were at the start of the season. So hopefully just an off day for the cut, but this game looks extremely over.
Yeah, I mean, both this and the wild card series, I don't know, it feels like what you were talking about where the cut had a style and it came into things and maybe they were good at that style and it worked against some of the lesser teams, and it worked even against some of the better teams. They managed to take a game off of EG, for example, but now, towards the end of the season, they don't seem to have that other variation, which I think is, you know, like expected for a lower division team coming into upper division, that they don't have that huge versatility in strategies, but unfortunately for them, facing up against 4 Zoomers and Wildcard at the end of the season is not pairing well, and with that pit, that's going to be 2 instant kills, and Kids, well, there goes the Bloodstone pop, but he has to stay out of the hands of Kostabile, who comes in and chunks him down in just 2 swift hits. They do manage to get some techies damage in, and Overlom, well, he didn't last that long. Quill damage building up over time. This is going to be their mass buybacks. The 10 versus 5, is that going to be enough to win an engagement? They are running out of damage. Their Bristleback had to go back to the fountain, and Nade in his second life will do nothing.
Yeah, that one's going to clean it up. Kostabile did tons of damage there. Husky's DPSing as well. 2 deaths, and now they just got to kill Scourge 1 time here for it to be over. Oh, okay.
Nice stun. They do manage to get some follow-up mines there as well. They're going to do a lot of damage to Husky. He's probably dead. Kostabile is actually going to go for a TP up, but that's going to be stopped. He dies to Overlom.
Oh, moves back.
Oh, 4 Zoomers. They come
Anyone
back
else
with
want
the
to
Dark
buy back?
Rift.
Oh, they're coming. They're coming.
They're coming through the Dark Rift. They want to end this game here and now. They are not going to give the time for the cut to be able to recover and enjoy a small victory win. It's just the 2 of them, though. Scourge McDuck and B-God.
Husky has the TP, what a loser. Oh my
Vegas. Oh god, the roll-in comes out. Stuck inside the Rod of Atos. They can finish off the buildings that they want. The quill damage building up. The nice 2-man stun is going to allow Scourge McDuck to be able to reset. Gets back to the fountain again. Can they finish up this range barracks before Scourge McDuck gets back? Easily they can. And a free retreat. That's going to be Megas by 22 minutes.
That was so much damage when Kostabile hit Scourge in the face here. Tipping back and forth there, trying to keep Husky alive. A Witchblade on Enchantress 5. Yeah, he's having a good game. Oh, he's dying though.
And Z-Freak's having a good time with that ward play.
That was a 9 quill stack on Husky. Guaranteed he dies without the Nether Ward down there to keep him alive. And just a perfect Pugna game. They laned extremely well too. They have more damage reduction from the Underlord. Their draft makes a lot of sense. The Rolling Boulder gave them so many good team fights and engagements against Lesh. Gunner's 4-0-17 right now. Has had a perfect game. It's that fight once again. And here come the quills. He's got 2 quills on him right now. And all of a sudden Husky's like, whatever, I'll just hit him a couple times. And it's like,
yeah, the damage stacks up quick.
And he's like, oh shit. Went from half HP to almost no in 2 quills. They catch Overlom here.
quick reminder for what these teams are fighting for. It a score of both of these teams having a score of 2 and 4 means that a loss here does put them in the potential of going to relegation only if Dogchamp manages to win their series against Evil Geniuses, in which case they would be tied up, and they would obviously have to play a tiebreaker for relegation. Not expecting that to actually happen, nor am I expecting for Zoomers to drop this game, as it should be very simple for them to be able to clean this up. Maybe they can get a kill or two, as Husky's definitely going to go down. Bigot, though, is going to lose his life in return for that one, and it's probably going to be a lot more than just that. Ade, he dies. Next up, it's going to be Overlum, and that's where they're going to call it. The cut. That was very disappointing, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, when they joined the season, I was really excited. Everyone was really excited to watch them play because they were playing so solid. But this was one of the teams that them and Wildcard were